My parents came to the U.S. together on September 23, 1987. My father was 24 years old and my mother 21. They were already married with 3 kids. As children back in Laos, my dad had a daily job. After that, he played soccer with some friends and he also played in a band. Some of my mom's hobbies included sewing, farming, and playing outdoors. They both also helped their parents a lot with the overwhelming labor of farming. My grandparents harvested a lot of vegetables and even some animals such as chickens. Chickens are only eaten on special occasions. Being Hmong and living in the mountains was not an easy life at all. My parents, along with every other Hmong, lived in straw huts. No electricity, no clean water, no toilets, hot and humid weather all year round. A single egg would feed a family of 4 and they licked their plates clean, making sure they ate everything possible that was edible. In the Vietnam War, the Hmong helped the Americans fight in the war. After the war ended, they were forced to flee from Laos to the refugee camps in Thailand by foot. The fleeing took a minimum of 10 days. These camps provided everything from shelter to food to entertainment. This life was much easier than back in Laos. After a decade and a half in the refugee camps, my parents finally moved to the U.S. Today, my family is 9 strong, along with 1 niece and 2 nephews. Today, we live under a real roof with great work and central air and enough food to feed all of us as long as we stay employed. We also do have flushing toilets. I'm spoiled with everything my parents didn't have when they were my age. Growing up was nowhere as hard as my parents growing up, but it was a challenge. I grew up learning the American culture, which my parents knew nothing of. It was hard going to school as a minority who didn't wear brand name clothing. The language barrier was also a problem. My parents spoke very little English, and we kids spoke mainly English. We'd be translators for their every American issue. As much as I tried to fit into the American norm, my parents saw it as unnecessary and were very unsupportive of it. Of course, being kids growing up, I wanted nice shoes, clothes from the mall, a cell phone, a laptop, my license, a car, but in my parents' eyes, there was no need for all of that. My dad even told me I don't need my license and car until after college graduation. Sometimes I think they're crazy, but I have to remember they were never in my shoes before. My parents still aren't up to date with technology either. I'm always envious when I see someone texting their mom. We grew up with cars, computers, clean clothes, and a real roof over our head. My parents only wish they had one of those things back in Laos and Thailand when they were my age. The generation gap between my parents and I may seem so far, but it's understandable knowing where they came from. As time goes by, I can see the gap closing in little by little, but regardless, I accept it because both generations grew in such a different lifetime.